My girlfriend once said she liked poor people, but here I am, a rich kid, eating pickled vegetables every day. To prevent my girlfriend from leaving me after discovering my wealth in the future, I cautiously probed her feelings. Jiajia, what would you do if one day you found out I suddenly became rich? My girlfriend patted my shoulder. Don't think too much about it. Don't worry, I don't mind that you're poor. Later, we ran into each other at a luxury goods store. Girlfriend, low-income household, can't pay tuition. Me, poor student, working 3 part-time jobs a day. We exchanged glances, and the air was thick with unspoken words. My girlfriend was holding a designer bag that her mother was about to buy, walking out of the store. I was dressed in brand-name clothes, linking arms with my mother as we entered the store. My mother didn't seem to notice the awkward atmosphere at all. Look at you, dressed like this all day long. After we buy the bag, I'll buy you some new clothes, or else people will really think our family is low income. After saying that, she smiled at my girlfriend, Jiajia. You're Yanyan's classmate, right? Our family is quite wealthy, actually. Before my mother could reveal our relationship, I quickly bowed at a 90-degree angle toward her. Thank you, Auntie. You shouldn't have gone to such expense. As my mom looked bewildered, I pulled my girlfriend outside to explain. My mom works as a housekeeper for this auntie. I'm strong, so my mom called me to help carry her bags. My girlfriend didn't doubt me at all. Oh, I see. I'm here to carry bags for my client as well. She just went to the bathroom. Rich people have the same hobbies. I wasn't sure if it was my imagination, but we both sighed in relief. My girlfriend hurried to catch up with her client, but before leaving, she didn't forget to comfort me. When men get rich, they become bad. Lu Yen. I'll still like you even if you're poor for life. I forced a smile. That was close, I almost got found out. My girlfriend told me she had half an hour left in this part-time job. After soothing my mom, I found a place to wait for her. My girlfriend and I parted ways, the corners of her mouth cracked, and she coughed a few times. The weather was getting hotter, and she must have been thirsty. But I knew she couldn't bear to spend money on drinks while out. In her words, "Isn't it better to drink a few cents water back at school? I can't waste even a few minutes, plus milk tea only makes me gain weight. It's not worth it." I held my 8-digit bank card, feeling troubled. After some thought, I went into a bubble tea shop and chose a lemonade for 4 yuan. My girlfriend returned quickly. Seeing the drink in my hand, she frowned. I hurriedly shoved it into her hands. It's not expensive at all, I just received my scholarship this month. Only then did Jiajia take it, reminding me. Don't spend money on things like this in the future. If you have money, you can send it to your mom or buy her a bag. She probably wouldn't spend money on a bag herself. I wiped the sweat off my forehead, smiling, okay. But I thought to myself, my mom's bags were piling up so much that we could barely fit them in one room. There was no need for me to buy her anything. Hand in hand with Jiajia, we headed back to school. All the way, her face didn't seem to brighten at all. I had a rough idea of what was bothering her. As graduation approached, everyone was looking for jobs. Some classmates from well-off families had already secured good jobs with their family's help. Jiajia hadn't found a job yet. While I was pondering how to discreetly help her, a figure blocked my and Jiajia's path. A pungent perfume scent wafted into my nose. I looked up. And the first thing I saw was a huge bouquet of bright red roses. I ground my teeth. Without seeing the face, I knew it was that scumbag, Ziki. No one else would do something like this. Sure enough, the next second, Ziki's flashy face appeared in front of me. "Jiajia, I bought the best roses from the flower shop for you. Can I invite you to dinner?" I scoffed lightly. "Buddy, Jiajia has a boyfriend now, isn't what you're doing a bit unethical? Besides, Jiajia hates rich people like you the most. I glanced Chinziki up and down. Clothes worth 80,000. Shoes worth 30,000. A watch worth over 500,000. Chinziki was said to be a rich kid as well, and given his penchant for showing off, this was probably his best. To me, this rich kid was a bit of a phony. He knew very well that Tang Jiajia had a boyfriend, yet he still pursued her. His character was questionable. Chasing someone without understanding their preferences would only lead to embarrassment. Sure enough, Jiajia didn't even glance at the bouquet. She raised the hand I was holding in front of Chinziki and waved it. I have a boyfriend now. There's no need to waste your time on me. Chinziki wasn't annoyed. He rolled his eyes and leaned close to my girlfriend's ear, whispering something. Jiajia's expression changed. This wasn't good. After a moment, Tang Jiajia turned to me. Lu Yan, you should head back to school first. I'll find you later. I couldn't believe it, pointing at Chinziki. You want to go eat with him? Chinziki stood tall. Sorry, Lu Yan, this restaurant needs to be booked in advance. I only reserved a table for two. I can't bring you along this time. His smug attitude made my teeth itch. But I was more puzzled by my girlfriend's attitude. I pulled her closer. Aren't you the one who hates him the most? Jiajia wasn't the type to judge people in private. It was just that Chinziki was buzzing around her like a fly, and she was clearly annoyed. She had told me that she hated guys like Chinziki, who flaunted their wealth and acted lost when they had a bit of money. Don't worry about it, I'll be back soon. Jiajia wanted to follow Chinziki, but I grabbed her arm. No way. You have to clarify this with me today, or you can't go. Jiajia sighed and revealed the truth. Chinziki said he could help you find a job. My family has such a big company, why would I need him to help me find a job? But knowing Jiajia was thinking of me, I shouldn't blame her. I squeezed her fingers. No need, I've already found a job. Chinziki smirked contemptuously. What job? Real estate? Sales? Or serving dishes at a hotel? Lu Yan, the job market is tough right now, your family probably doesn't have any connections to help you. I squinted at him. What kind of job can you get me? Chinziki revealed a smug expression. I can arrange for you to work at the headquarters of Lu Group. How about that? Impressive, right? I pressed him further. The headquarters of Lu Group, which owns an entire office building. Chinziki responded loudly. Now I was truly shocked. Isn't Lu Group my family's company? And the hiring process has always been fair and just. When could someone just slip someone in like that? How come I didn't know? Chinziki raised his chin proudly. Lu Yan, don't be too self-deprecating. Being born into a good family is a skill, you can't blame yourself for it. I nodded in agreement. If it weren't for being born into a good family, how could my dad be the president of Lu Group? I pulled my girlfriend close to me. Let's go back, I don't need him worrying about my job. Jiajia's face showed hesitation. I took the opportunity to persuade her. What kind of level is Lu Group? Besides particularly excellent undergraduates, the minimum requirement is a master's degree. Besides, can you really establish a foothold just by getting in through connections? Jiajia tightened her grip on my hand. You're right. Chinziki obviously didn't expect this development. He blocked Jiajia's path. Jiajia, that position is hard to reserve. The Western food there is especially delicious. Are you really not going? My girlfriend waved her hand. I'm not going. Jiajia fanned herself in front of her nose. Chinziki, stay away from me. Your perfume smells terrible. Chinziki's face changed dramatically. I chuckled and led my girlfriend back to school. After Jiajia entered the classroom, I called my dad to ask if he would be recruiting at our school. Dad said he wouldn't bother with such small matters. I called the HR director, who said there were no plans to recruit at our school this year, but if I needed it, they could arrange a campus recruitment. I thought for a moment and replied, okay, follow the standard process. Jiajia is so outstanding. She deserves to get this job. When I returned to the classroom, a sharp, sarcastic voice greeted my ears. Hey, isn't this the low-income student? Come to play hero? I instinctively looked at Jiajia. My girlfriend was soaking wet, drenched by someone pouring water on her. Chapter 6. I gently touched my girlfriend's still dripping hair and scanned the classroom. Who did this? Su Mianmian, who had spoken earlier, sneered. I accidentally splashed it on her. I already said I'd pay for a new outfit, but she refused. What can I do? Su Mianmian sounded defiant despite her weak reasoning. My girlfriend was taller than Su Mianmian, so how could it be an accident that water got poured on her head? Su Mianmian's friend covered her mouth, suppressing a laugh. Oh, Mianmian, don't you get it? Jiajia didn't refuse because she didn't want it. She refused because she didn't dare to ask. She continued, how much do your clothes cost, and how much do Jiajia's? She'd probably have to work a month just to afford something like yours. Then she glanced at me. Oh, wait. I forgot. Lu Yen can't afford it either. They're truly a match made in heaven. My girlfriend shot Su Mianmian a sharp look. Childish. Jiajia had been bullied by Su Mianmian for a while now, and though she never let it get to her, I couldn't just stand by. No need for you to pay. Su Mianmian let out a smug laugh. Smart move. I looked around the room, grabbed a bottle of water from a nearby desk, and poured it over Su Mianmian. Now it's fair. I've never been one to suffer in silence. I preemptively covered my ears, but Su Mianmian's piercing scream still drilled into my head. Lu Yen. How dare you do this to me? This is a brand new outfit. Can you even afford to pay for it? She frantically tried to dry her clothes. What's going on here? Chen Ziki sauntered in with a smile, and Su Mianmian quickly ran over to him. Ziki Ji, Lu Yen and Jiajia ganged up to bully me. Her audacity to twist the truth was impressive. I remembered something that I hadn't planned to mention, but now, I wasn't inclined to let Su Mianmian off so easily. Chapter 7. There were two reasons, in my opinion, why Su Mianmian targeted my girlfriend. 1. Chen Ziki liked Jiajia, and there was something going on between him and Su Mianmian. 2. Su Mianmian had once pursued me, but I turned her down. Chen Ziki adjusted his collar and scolded me. Lu Yen, I didn't expect this from you, picking on a girl. Su Mianmian wiped away non-existent tears. It's fine, it's fine. I won't make a fuss. As long as Lu Yen bows and apologizes. Bow and apologize? I spat out 3 words, do you deserve it? My girlfriend glared coldly at Su Mianmian. If you hadn't picked a fight, would Lu Yen have poured water on you? Su Mianmian planted her hands on her hips. Fine, no apology then. Just compensate me for my clothes. 2,000 yuan. I chuckled. Having often accompanied my mother on shopping trips, I knew a bit about fashion. Su Mianmian was wearing something straight off a street stall. Her friend tugged on her sleeve, whispering, Mianmian, is it really that expensive? Maybe we should let it go. My girlfriend clenched her fists, a sign that she was furious. I gently held her hand, signaling her to calm down. Fine, I'll pay. Su Mianmian's eyes widened in shock. But Jiajia's clothes are worth 10,000. You'll have to pay her. Su Mianmian's mouth dropped open. Lu Yen, are you crazy? Why do you say her clothes cost 10,000? It's more like 10 yuan. I smirked. Then how can you prove yours are worth 2,000? Su Mianmian was speechless. She couldn't prove it. I slowly added, from now on, don't bother Tang Jia again. Otherwise, I'll assume you're jealous. Su Mianmian raised her voice. Jealous of what? Jealous that I didn't return your feelings and instead pursued Tang Jia. Jealous that you're chasing after Chen Ziki, but he likes Tang Jia. The room buzzed with murmurs. Su Mianmian stomped her foot. Lu Yen, you're such a jerk. I spread my hands. I'm a good guy, actually. The class monitor knocked on the door. The Lu Corporation is starting their campus recruitment. Interested students should hurry to fill out an application. The classroom emptied in an instant. I was about to suggest to my girlfriend that she apply, but Chen Ziki cleared his throat. No need to go through all that trouble. I can help everyone get into the Lu Corporation. Those who hadn't yet left the room stopped in their tracks. I paused as well. How amusing. In front of me. The heir to the Lu Corporation, I was curious to see how exactly he planned to help. Chapter 8. One student voiced my thoughts, isn't the Lu Corporation a huge company? Their recruitment process is open and fair. How can you help? Chen Ziki raised an eyebrow. You don't need to worry about that. If I say I can do it, I can. Before long, a crowd had gathered around him. It's human nature, people always want to take shortcuts. Su Mianmian, now feeling superior, gave me a once-over, her nose turned up in disdain. Loser. Tang Jia planted a kiss on my left cheek. Even a loser wouldn't want you. She patted my shoulder. Don't bother with them. I believe you'll find a good job. If nothing suitable comes up, one of my clients from my part-time work is very nice. He might be able to help you. I wrapped my arm around her waist and took the opportunity to ask, why not apply to the Lu Corporation's recruitment? My girlfriend dodged the question. I could tell she had no interest in working for that company. Though I didn't know why, I respected her decision. My phone buzzed non-stop in my pocket. My girlfriend hurried off to her part-time job, leaving me free to deal with my mom's barrage of missed calls. The moment I answered, my mom launched into a tirade. Lu Yen, if you don't go to this blind date today, you're no son of mine. You're not getting any younger. Why don't you have a girlfriend? Is there something wrong with you? I scratched my ear, quietly enduring her scolding. I hadn't told her yet about my relationship with Tang Jia. Last time we met wasn't exactly the best moment. Then my mom's tone softened. Son, I'm not trying to push you, but this was your father's idea. It's the daughter of one of his business partners. You can't let your father lose face, right? My mom sounded like she was about to cry. I've always had a soft spot for her tears. If my dad, who dotes on her, found out I'd upset her, he'd probably beat me to a pulp. Fine, fine. Send me the time and place. I'll go. My mom's mood shifted as quickly as a summer storm. She hung up immediately, and seconds later, the address and time popped up on my phone. With that, I had no choice but to handle this face-to-face. I knew exactly who I was going to meet. If there are two companies young graduates dream of joining, one is the Lu Corporation, and the other is Jiajia Corporation. Today, I was supposed to meet the daughter of Jiajia Corporation's chairman, Shen. The chairman's daughter had been kept out of the spotlight, and this was the first time I'd meet her. When the day arrived, I showed up just on time. I opened the door to the private room and saw someone already seated there. Sorry, Miss Shen, I'm a bit late. Miss Shen turned around. I froze in place. How could it be Tang Jia? Chapter 9. The look on my girlfriend's face mirrored my own. I didn't need a mirror to know how awkward I must have looked. Tang Jia spoke first. She pulled me into the seat opposite her, excitement bubbling in her voice. Your mom works as a maid for the Liu family? I was still in shock and could only muster a vague response. This was all too surreal. Tang Jia was the daughter of Jiajia Corporation's chairman? She cheerfully dug into the food. Come on, let's eat. We can't waste this opportunity. We don't get this kind of chance every day. What a coincidence. My part-time boss is the daughter of Jiajia Corporation's chairman. She asked me to come to this blind date in her place to reject the guy. Are you here on behalf of the Liu Corporation's heir? Her words snapped me out of my daze. What? Tang Jia had come on behalf of someone else? She blinked her big eyes at me, as if puzzled by my surprise. Of course, what was I even thinking? Tang Jia had always disliked rich people. And besides, the chairman of Jiajia Corporation was surnamed Shen, while Tang Jia's surname was Tang. How could they possibly be father and daughter? I shook myself out of it and noticed how quickly she was eating. I felt a pang of guilt. We'd been dating for almost a year. I had been the one pursuing her most of the time. My father believed in tough love and didn't allow me to flaunt my wealth. When I was younger, I was even kidnapped because of my family's status. Once I entered university, I spent a lot of time at the company learning from senior staff and handling business affairs. I didn't wear designer clothes, so many classmates assumed I was poor. When Su Mianmian spread rumors that I was a broke fraud after I turned her down, it was Tang Jia who stood up for me. I developed feelings for her, but I hadn't expected her to confess first. I still remember the words she said the day we officially started dating. Lu Yan, I like you for who you are. It doesn't matter if you have money or not. That's when I knew she was the one. Now, seeing her eat so heartily, it was obvious she hadn't had these kinds of meals before. Yet I had the means to provide them every day. A wave of guilt washed over me. I gathered the courage to finally tell her the truth. Even if it meant she'd be mad or break up with me, I was ready. Jiajia, actually, Before I could finish, my phone rang. When I answered, I heard something that made me jump up and rush back to campus. Chapter 10. On the way back to school, Tang Jia had a similarly angry expression. She urged me to stay calm and not resort to violence immediately. I told Tang Jia what my friend just informed me over the phone. All the items in my dorm room had been soaked with water. This included my computer, tablet, and other electronic devices. No one could enter the dorm room. It couldn't have been anyone else but them. But they were all either pretending to sleep, playing games, or browsing on their phones. None of them answered my question. I rolled up my sleeves. I've put up with enough. Do they really think they can treat me like a pushover? At that moment, a knock on the door interrupted. I tilted my head slightly and saw Chen Ziki leaning against the dormitory door, smiling maliciously. Oh, what's this, Lu Yan? How could you be so careless? It seems everything is wet now. How much would it cost to replace it all? I finally put the pieces together. It had to be Chen Ziki. No one else would be this bored. I let go of my sleeves, raised an eyebrow, and said, So, what do you want? Chen Ziki grinned. If you want me to pay to replace them, that's not impossible, since we're such good classmates. I sneered, what's the condition? He quickly replied, break up with Tang Jia. He just won't give up, will he? I stepped closer to him and patted his face lightly. You caused this mess and now you dare to set conditions for me? For a moment, panic flashed in Chen Ziki's eyes, but he quickly covered it up. Do you have any proof? He asked. I clenched my fist and looked at each of my roommates in turn. Every one of them avoided my gaze. Suddenly, I received a new message on WeChat. I looked up at my roommate on the upper bunk. Lu Yan, it's not that we don't want to help you, but Chinziki promised to get us jobs at the Lu Corporation. We brothers have to say sorry for now, but we'll make it up to you later. Before I could take a screenshot, the message was deleted. I didn't expect Chinziki to fool so many people. I curled my lips into a calm smile and said, "Proof? You'll have it soon." Chapter 11. Chinziki swallowed nervously. What proof could you possibly have? I pushed him aside and made a call to the HR director of the Lu Corporation to ask if they had any updates for me. Whether it was real progress or they simply understood my intentions, the director replied with 4 words. "Young Master Lu, immediately." I hung up the phone, shook my phone a bit, and repeated the words, "Immediately." Chinziki laughed sarcastically. "Lu Yen, I didn't know you were so good at telling jokes." But his laughter soon faded. A few students from other dorms pulled Chinziki by his collar and pinned him against the wall. "Chinziki, didn't you say you could get us jobs at the Lu Corporation? The results are out, but why aren't our names on the list?" Chinziki's pupils contracted as he saw my roommates surrounding him with fierce expressions. Chinziki staggered a bit on the spot. "Don't worry, let me call my dad," he stammered. Then he bolted. My roommates exchanged glances. I kindly reminded them, "Aren't you going to chase after him?" And just like that, they dashed off. I whistled casually, walked down the stairs, and took my girlfriend's hand as she waited outside the dorm. "Come on, let me show you something interesting." Chapter 12. My roommates were smart. They cornered Chinziki by a large tree, a spot not covered by the security cameras. Amusingly, Su Mianmian was there, crying and whimpering, putting on a pitiful act. "Don't hit Brother Ziki. Can't we just talk this out?" I heard that Su Mianmian and Chinziki were dating. And yet, here Chinziki was, still pestering Tang Jia. What a scumbag. One of my roommates growled, "Did you find out what's going on yet?" Chinziki looked like he was about to cry. My dad didn't answer the phone. Believe me, he'll find a way to fix this. As soon as those words left his mouth, Chinziki took a barrage of punches. "Oh, so you were lying to us, Chinziki? You thought you could keep us in the dark while you pursued your silly dreams? We admit we were tempted by the promise of a shortcut, but you're not getting away with this. If you hadn't tricked us, we would have done things by the book." The sound of fists connecting was intense. Just hearing it made me wince. Chinziki, unable to dodge, ended up with a black eye and snapped back in anger. "My dad is a branch manager at the Lu Corporation. Just wait, I'll make you all pay for this." I smirked. So that's what it is. Looking at Chinziki's pathetic state, I figured it was time to dig deeper into his background. My girlfriend shivered a little. "Lu Yen, that smile of yours is quite creepy." "Huh?" Tang Jia stared at my face. "It feels like you're ready to bring the storm down on someone." Oops, guess I let my true nature slip. I flashed her a big grin. "No way, I'm just a poor student." She tilted her head and leaned against my shoulder. "That's okay. I like you just the way you are." 2 beeps came from my phone. It was a reminder. My girlfriend's birthday was coming up. I needed to start planning her gift. Chapter 13. As my dad often says, nothing pleases my mom more than a good handbag. I recalled how she would always jump for joy whenever she got a new one. So, I picked a bag for my girlfriend as well. We arranged to meet up at the KTV that night, and I got all dressed up, excited to give her the gift. When I opened the room door, I froze in place. Inside, my girlfriend Tang Jia was there, looking irritated, along with Su Mianmian, who just wouldn't let things go, and a bunch of Su Mianmian's usual friends. When Tang Jia saw me, she quickly ran over. "Lu Yen. You're here." I gave her a look that asked what was going on. Tang Jia pouted. Su Mianmian somehow found out you planned to meet me here and insisted on coming to apologize for her past actions and to celebrate my birthday. I'm so annoyed. It was indeed irritating. Su Mianmian's persistence was like a lingering shadow. The strong scent of her perfume irritated my nose as she stepped closer. Today, besides apologizing to Tang Jia, I also want to apologize to you, Lu Yan. To express my sincerity, I'll cover tonight's expenses. I stared into Su Mianmian's eyes but couldn't see any trace of deceit. What is she up to? Wow, Su Mianmian pointed at the gift box in my hand. Is that the birthday gift for Tang Jia? Can we see what it is? Without waiting for my response, Su Mianmian snatched the box from my hands. My phone buzzed with a message. It was from my roommate. Since the last incident, they had sincerely apologized and had been trying to make it up to me. Lu Yan, Su Mianmian has been asking around about the gift you bought for your girlfriend. Be careful, she might have some ill intentions. Originally, she invited the whole class to join, but we didn't go. I'm worried that she wants to get back at you for Chenziki. I put my phone away. I only had 4 words for Su Mianmian. You're overestimating yourself. Su Mianmian pulled out the branded handbag I bought and started touching it with her dirty hands. Oh my, Lu Yan, even if you can't afford a real bag, there's no need to fake it. Look, even the box doesn't match. Chapter 14. The box was indeed different. I had intentionally used a random box to avoid giving away too much to my girlfriend. Tang Jia walked over and grabbed the bag back. What's it to you? I like it just the same. Su Mianmian exchanged a look with one of her friends. So, you admit it's a fake then, Tang Jia? My girlfriend's brows furrowed slightly. Su Mianmian. You came here pretending to apologize, but you just wanted to start trouble, didn't you? Su Mianmian lowered her head, looking all hurt. Tang Jia, how could you say that? I truly wanted to apologize, and I'm only looking out for you. Imagine how embarrassed you'd be if people found out you were carrying a fake bag. One of Su Mianmian's friends chimed in to agree. I could see it clearly now. Su Mianmian came here to stir up trouble, using such childish tactics. With my hands in my pockets, I asked disdainfully, are you so sure that this bag is fake? A glimmer of excitement flashed in Su Mianmian's eyes. Lu Yan, I didn't know you liked pretending to be a big spender. She twirled a strand of her hair with her finger. I know an appraiser. Why don't we call them over to take a look? Su Mianmian tilted her head and looked at me. She was sure that I wouldn't dare to agree. Fine, call them over. I walked over to a seat and sat down. My girlfriend gave me a look, signaling with her eyes, are you crazy? They'll find out it's fake the moment they check it. I paused mid-drink, feeling a bit stuck. I had let my guard down. The bag was definitely real. My mom is a VIP client of the brand, and I had specifically asked her to get it for me. But how was I supposed to explain that to my girlfriend? My palms were starting to sweat as I wondered if I should just come clean to my girlfriend. Tang Jia pinched my thigh hard. Say something. I couldn't even get this bag myself. Where did you get it from? In a trembling voice, I asked, what do you mean you couldn't get it? Chapter 15. My girlfriend exclaimed, it was my boss, the daughter of Jiajia Corporation. She wanted this bag, and I went with her to buy it, but it turned out someone had already bought it. I laughed awkwardly. It was my mom who bought it, and now it's right in front of you. I explained to my girlfriend. It was a gift to my mom from the wife of the chairman of the Lu Corporation. My mom didn't want it, so she asked me to give it to you. My girlfriend looked at me suspiciously. What? A bag this expensive was given to you? I wiped the sweat from my forehead. I closed a major deal for the Lu Corporation. My girlfriend was still somewhat doubtful. Su Mianmian laughed wildly, having overheard my conversation with Jiajia. We hadn't been paying attention to our volume, and she caught everything. Ridiculous. Lu Yen, just because your surname is Lu doesn't mean you can lie through your teeth. My girlfriend sat close to me, firmly declaring, I believe Lu Yen. Su Mianmian remained defiant, well, we'll see about that. Today was my girlfriend's birthday, and I had planned several fun activities for us. Since Su Mianmian had walked right into this situation, I figured I might as well make the most of it. Why not take full advantage of her kind gesture? I ordered a bunch of dishes from the menu, watching as Su Mianmian's face grew darker and darker, my mood lifting with each passing moment. I beckoned to my classmates, don't be shy, why are you all just standing around? Su Mianmian is treating us today. Come on, order away. I'm sure Su Mianmian won't mind. Everyone looked at Su Mianmian. Of course, I don't mind, she said, though I could hear her gritting her teeth. Just as her face couldn't have turned any blacker, the appraiser she had called arrived. Su Mianmian rushed to the door to greet him. Uncle Wang, please check if this bag is genuine. The man called Uncle Wang swiftly picked up the bag. Su Mianmian's complexion regained some color. Lu Yen, it's not too late to admit the truth now. Otherwise, it'll be really embarrassing when you're exposed in front of everyone. I smiled without saying a word. Su Mianmian continued, to tell you the truth. I have the same bag. The sales assistant told me there's only one authentic version of this bag, and it's in my possession. Amidst the gasps of the crowd, Su Mianmian proudly unveiled her bag, which was wrapped in several layers. I was instantly met with mocking gazes. All the girls flocked to Su Mianmian to admire her bag. After soaking up enough compliments, Su Mianmian cleared her throat. So, Uncle Wang, is this bag fake or not? Uncle Wang's face darkened, but his response was firm. This bag is real. Chapter 16. A silence fell over the room. Su Mianmian was the first to speak. Uncle Wang, you must be joking. I know what happened. Lu Yen must have bribed you when we weren't looking, and that's why you're saying this. Uncle Wang's expression darkened. Young lady, be careful with your words. I've been in this business for years and never once made a mistake. Su Mianmian shook her head frantically. No way, how can this be possible? Uncle Wang turned to leave. Wait. I handed Su Mianmian's bag to him. Could you check this one too? This time, Uncle Wang didn't even touch it, answering impatiently, it's fake. You're lying. Su Mianmian stiffened, refusing to accept it. This was a gift from Brother Ziki. It can't possibly be fake. And how can you tell just by looking? Uncle Wang, clearly angered, replied, it's so obviously fake that I don't need to touch it. Uncle Wang stormed out in fury. Ah, so it was Chen Ziki. Looks like karma hasn't hit him hard enough yet. Chen Ziki's probably neck-deep in trouble right now. How does he even have spare money to buy you a bag? After some investigation, it turned out Chen Ziki's father had embezzled quite a lot of company funds. He was immediately fired and reported to the authorities. As for Chen Ziki, he received disciplinary action for his involvement in the scandal. A classmate chimed in. Chen Ziki's probably broke now. I don't think Uncle Wang was lying. Fuming, Su Mianmian dialed Chen Ziki's number. When he answered, his voice was eager. So, did Lu Yen embarrass himself yet? Su Mianmian screamed into the phone, Chen Ziki, did you give me a fake bag? Beep, beep, beep. He hung up immediately. A waiter walked in. Could someone settle the bill? I pointed at Su Mianmian. When she saw the amount, she collapsed onto the couch. My girlfriend whispered, that was so satisfying. Let's go. I took my girlfriend's hand and left. Even then, Su Mianmian couldn't resist taking one last jab at me. Lu Yan, where did you get the money? You're not doing something shady, are you? Chapter 17. I ignored her and left with my girlfriend. It was just impotent rage. Everything that's happened recently has had the potential to blow my cover. I had already decided that I needed to find the right time to come clean to my girlfriend. Our thesis defense was coming up soon. But my girlfriend didn't seem worried at all about finding a full-time job. Jiajia, let's have dinner tonight. There's something I want to ask you. I needed to know why Jiajia resented wealthy people. Sure. It's tough for your family to make money, so this time, I'll treat you. I squeezed her shoulder. Actually, it's pretty easy. How could that be? Even though your mom works as a housekeeper for the Liu family, didn't you say your dad just eats and drinks tea all day? How could you possibly make enough money just relying on your mom? Yes, Jiajia, you're right. My dad's days were far from just eating, socializing, or signing paperwork in the office. While my girlfriend was absorbed in her thesis, I played some games, overhearing the conversation of the classmates behind me. Hey, did you hear? Su Mianmian and Chen Ziki broke up. Apparently, she's found herself a rich sugar daddy. Yeah. I heard. Su Mianmian's been coming back with tons of luxury bags, all Hermes and LV. I clicked my tongue in disbelief. Su Mianmian was truly something else. My phone buzzed on the table, and I was about to answer it when I realized it was my girlfriend's phone. She picked up, and moments later, stormed out of the room. Chapter 18. I quickly followed behind. In all the time I'd known Tang Jia, I had never seen her this angry. Jiajia, what's wrong? She ignored me, hopping into a taxi and speeding off. Fearing something was wrong, I hailed a taxi and followed her. Never in my wildest dreams could I have guessed that she was headed to a hotel. My eyelids twitched. Was my girlfriend about to catch someone in the act? Sure enough, my instincts were right. When I arrived at the hotel room, I heard the sound of someone crying inside. My girlfriend was pinning down a half-dressed woman, beating her mercilessly. Jiajia, stop. Jiajia, calm down. I rushed over to pull my girlfriend off. If she hurt the woman too badly, she'd be held responsible. Chairman Shen, help me. Chairman Shen, save me. That voice sounded so familiar. Tang Jia, you've gone too far. Stop this at once. A man's booming voice shouted from the bed, where he lay under the covers. I looked up, my brows rising in surprise. It was the chairman of Jiajia Corporation. How did he know my girlfriend's name? But Tang Jia didn't stop. I'm sorry, Tang Jia. Please stop hitting me. The woman on the floor begged. It was only then that I recognized her. It was Su Mianmian. Tang Jia. Do you still consider me your father? Look at yourself, what are you doing? His words left me completely stunned. Tang Jia. Jiajia Corporation's chairman. My girlfriend was the daughter of the chairman of Jiajia Corporation? Tang Jia's face was cold as she replied, from the day you cheated. You stopped being my father. Looking at the emotionless expression on my girlfriend's face, I finally understood why she despised the rich. Chapter 19. I had heard my mother mention it before. The founder of Jiajia Group was the current chairman's father-in-law. That old man was a business legend, and his surname was Tang. No wonder my girlfriend's name is Tang Jia. Her father married into the family and used to be just a poor college student. For so many years, he kept a low profile, but after his father-in-law passed away, Tang Jia's father showed his true colors. My mother once commented on him, looks good, but useless. I guess this explains why my girlfriend dislikes wealthy people. A beautiful woman entered the room. Forget it, Jiajia. I've already decided to divorce him. My girlfriend walked over, supporting her and called out, Mom. The man on the bed finally panicked. No, madam, please don't be angry. I was just drunk. It was her, it was that woman who seduced me. Tang Jia's father pointed at Su Mianmian. Tears still hung on Su Mianmian's face, clearly not expecting things to turn out this way. Tang Jia's mother shot her husband a mocking glance. Luckily, my father left safeguards in place before he passed away. You'll soon be leaving with nothing. The man, who had been yelling at my girlfriend moments ago, suddenly clutched her hand. Jiajia, you must talk to your mother. We're a family. How can we possibly divorce? My girlfriend withdrew her hand. You're not my dad anymore. Expect to hear from our lawyer soon. With that, my girlfriend and her mother left the room together. Wait, Jiajia, wait for me. As we exited, I heard Su Mianmian's tearful voice, Chairman Shen, how could you do this to me? Tang Jia's father, clearly enraged, shouted back, get out. I snapped a photo and sent it to Chenziki. Savoring every moment. I knew a bit more than my gossip-loving classmates did. Chenziki was still entangled with Su Mianmian. I walked ahead, grinning, and didn't notice my girlfriend stopping suddenly. Her expression was no longer as troubled. She bit her lip and, with a hint of apology in her eyes, said, Lu Yen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to deceive you, I just... Yen, what are you doing here? I turned to see who had spoken, and the words slipped out of my mouth. Mom? Chapter 20. Mom? This time, it was my girlfriend's turn to be surprised. My mom grabbed her hand excitedly. Oh, so you're Yan's girlfriend? This brat didn't even tell me. My mom started fussing over her immediately. Meanwhile, my arm was being pinched so hard by my girlfriend, I was sure it was going to bruise. Finally, my girlfriend's mother spoke up to end the situation. Oh dear, it seems we've become in-laws. My mom finally released my girlfriend's hand, and my girlfriend finally stopped pinching me. Now, both our mothers were joyfully bonding, already acting like family. My girlfriend smirked coldly. Your mom works as a housekeeper for the Liu family? I shook my head, vigorously denying it. And your dad does nothing but drink and party all day? I shook my head, then nodded. I forced a smile. Well, he does have to socialize for business, after all. My girlfriend walked off, leaving me behind. I followed, unsure how to gauge her mood. I cautiously asked, Jiajia, are you angry? Was she about to break up with me? Why did you lie to me? We reached the school gate before she finally spoke again. I was afraid that if you knew I had money, you wouldn't want to be with me. In my head, I was thinking. Weren't you the one who also pretended to be a poor student working 3 part-time jobs? I just didn't want to hurt your pride. A silence settled between us. After a while, we both spoke at the same time. After all, I like you for who you are, not whether you have money. After all, I like you for who you are, not whether you have money. We exchanged a smile. I knew I had saved this relationship. Relieved of a huge weight on my chest, I held my girlfriend's hand. She squeezed my hand back. When we re-entered the school, everyone seemed to be acting strangely. Chapter 21. A classmate who was always at the center of gossip filled us in. Did you hear? Chenziki leaked those kinds of photos of Su Mianmian. Now they're all over the internet. I never thought Su Mianmian was that kind of person. Why wouldn't you have thought that? How else do you think she got all those fancy bags and jewelry? She's been with some rich old man, of course. Instinctively, I glanced at my girlfriend's face. It showed no reaction. She didn't need the classmates to tell her, we could already see it all over our phones, images of Su Mianmian, in all her disgrace, flooding every platform. Speak of the devil, Su Mianmian came out of the teacher's office crying. Wherever she went, people pointed and whispered. As she passed by Tang Jia and me, she spat out bitterly, "Are you happy now? I'm dropping out. You reap what you sow." That's all I could say to her. Suddenly, Su Mianmian lunged past me, and startled gasps echoed around us. A flash of crimson filled my vision. Chen Ziki had fallen to the ground. I had already heard about Chen Ziki's downfall. Like Su Mianmian, he was expelled from school. His family had gone bankrupt. He was left without a degree, and worse, burdened by debts. Life would not be kind to Chen Ziki. It seemed he would need some time to recover from this. The sound of sirens, ambulances and police cars, filled the air. None of it concerned me anymore. "Lu Yen, I feel like having steak today," my girlfriend said, leaning on my shoulder and playfully pouting. She named a restaurant, the same one that Chen Ziki had once bragged about, saying it took great effort to get a reservation. "Let's go, right now." Little did Chen Ziki know, that restaurant was owned by my family. The sunset was beautiful. Tomorrow would be another great day. The end.